day of CyberSec Asia and Thailand International Cyber Week 2025. So the event for all IT security, data management, and cloud solutions. So you will get many of knowledge and experiences from our experts back home. Also, I'm very excited to bring you to the sessions of 2 whole days here, right at the tech stage. We're excited to feature over 66 sessions with more than 80 distinguished speakers are going to share their brilliant idea here. Also, the content is more about knowledge sharing, trend updates, and rooms for more thoughts, ideas from the industry leaders. So we still have many of below seats. So once again, please be invited, have a seat. We are going to hear from the representative of SSH Communications Security. From the most current agenda, please visit our website of cybersec-asia.net, or you can scan the QR code at the back of your badge to access the mobile application. So this is the agenda that we have here as well. So you can have a quick look. Any topic that you are interested in, please feel free to come. You are all invited, or you can stay here with me for the whole 2 days. สำหรับวันนี้ก็สวัสดีต้อนรับนะคะแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านเดี๋ยวยังไงนะคะเราจะมีเซสชั่นนะคะที่อยากจะเชิญชวนทุกท่านได้มารับฟังกันที่บริเวณเวทีของ Tech Stage ด้วยนะคะสำหรับหัวข้อแรกจะเริ่มต้นในอีกไม่กี่นาทีข้างหน้านี้นะคะจากตัวแทนของ SSH Communications Security ค่ะท่านที่สนใจสามารถที่จะมานั่งยังบริเวณด้านหน้าเวทีได้เลยนะคะแล้วก็ในช่วงท้ายนะคะเดี๋ยวจะได้มีการ wrap up สรุปนะคะวันนี้เนี่ยในแต่ละเซสชั่นเดี๋ยวเราจะได้สรุปประเด็นที่น่าสนใจให้กับทุกท่านได้รับฟังกันด้วยนะคะก็เดี๋ยวตอนนี้นะคะเซสชั่นถัดไปจะเป็นการบรรยายภาคภาษาอังกฤษนะคะแล้วก็ช่วงท้ายจะได้สรุปให้ทุกท่านได้รับฟังกันเป็นภาษาไทยนะเพราะฉะนั้นตอนนี้นะใครที่สนใจอยากจะมาฟังข้อมูลนะคะจากทางสปีกเกอร์ก็ขออนุญาตเรียนเชิญอีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะ So now here, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off, we are honored to present the session from SSH Communications Security to share with you about the hidden risk of SSH keys, mitigation strategies, and how to migrate to keyless access. So I would like to take this opportunity to invite our first speaker of the day. He is the Regional Director, Asia Pacific of SSH Communications Security. Could you please give a big round of applause and welcome Mr. Raymond Ma. Welcome.
Sawadee krap. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my honor to be here. Yeah, I'm traveling from Hong Kong. Yeah, and I'm representing SSH Communications Security. So let's have a survey to start the session. So are you using SSH? I mean the secure shell protocol in your company. Yes, right? Everyone is using, and everyone familiar with the secure shell protocol. And my company representing is called SSH Communications Security because we invented the secure shell protocol in 1995. So that means we are the company created this secure shell protocol 30 years ago. So this is exactly the 30 years anniversary of the company. And we make it open source in 1995. So everyone now use the secure shell protocol freely in your environment. Right? No matter for your user, your administrator, logging into servers, or for whatever purpose, like secure file transfer. They is also enabled by secure shell protocol. And date back to 30 years ago, all the traffics, no matter within the network or outside, is not encrypted. That's why our founder, he mentioned that he spent a couple nights to create the open source SSH protocol. And then we found the company, and then we help commercial customers to deploy SSH and enhance the security, right? So that is how we start the company. And then another key security solution that today we are covering is called UKM, Universal Key Manager. So I don't know if you are aware the hidden risks behind using SSH keys or SSH protocols, right? So we will cover it in details today. But from SSH, we are not only purely focusing on SSH protocols. We are also focusing on zero trust, OT securities, and PQC. So PQC is not going to go into detail today, but post-quantum cryptography is a key topic that most of the enterprises are interested because of the quantum risk. So that means the classical encryption algorithm is no longer secure enough to prevent from quantum risk. That's why we implement our product with post-quantum cryptography so that we can prevent the encryption from quantum threats. Right, so you can drop by our booth at the back, exactly at the back, to discuss more on what is quantum safe, our solution about. Okay, so let's go into the details of the hidden risks behind SSH, or not exactly SSH, right? So based on the latest survey in recent decades, it's talking about 10 years, 80% of the data threats are caused by compromised credentials. So lately, lots of phishing attack or whatever data loss that are related to compromised credentials, and it lead to data loss, right? So for example, every enterprise, they wish to protect or to secure their data. That is the ultimate goal, right? But the problem is, if the compromised credential happen in your environment, especially for your privileged user, so it can be your administrator account logging into Windows, to Linux, or to applications. That is the major risk that you are having, right? So this 80% of the data threats that you need to mitigate. So how to mitigate? However, most of the customers told us that we already have a PAM, a privileged access management solution in place. So we well manage our password already, our administrator passwords, and our user. We are using AD, LDAP, Radius, PAM, controlling the privileged access or business user access to applications, to servers, to your network devices. So we are well managed all the credentials. And SSH, we do have a solution called Prefix that we can provide privileged access management solution as well. But however, is this all enough, well enough to protect your credentials? Because one important idea haven't been missed for credential is most of the people or enterprise, they thought credential is only tied with passwords, right? I don't know if you are aware that credential is not only passwords. So when people logging into systems, of course they can use a password to log into Windows, to Linux, to database, whatever. However, if there is a SSH protocol, your user, especially your privileged user, they can use a SSH key to log into the system without using any passwords. So based on the credential, the word itself is a superset, and under that, there is passwords, there are SSH keys, it can be a TLS certificate. It can present the user to log into systems, right? And passwords, of course, that would represent maybe like 70% of the usage. However, for sophisticated SSH engineers, they just upload a public key to your server, and then they can use their own private key to log into the system without anyone knowing. So that is the risk, that is the issue, right? Are you managing well your SSH keys? No one. Especially for most of the financial institutions. When I talk to them, they well aware the PAM, the passwords, they rotate the password periodically or after use. And you enforce your domain user to change their password maybe by 30 days. Okay, that is pretty secure. However, are you managing all your credentials? That is not, right? And SSH keys, one of the usage is for privileged access. Means a Linux engineer use a SSH key to log into systems. However, that is not the majority of the usage. The majority of the usage is for machine-to-machine automation. I don't know if you are in banks, in telco space, or in other industry, FSI. If you are, secure file transfer is one of the key processes in financial institutions and some other industry as well. And secure file transfer, most of the time they script it, they make it automated, and they script a secure file transfer. When the time it needs to copy a file from server A to server B, it needs to create a key pair in those systems. And then the script can run it by itself without any engineer to type a password so that it can copy a file. So public key and private key are everywhere. And when we talk to some of the banks in Singapore, their SSH keys can be millions of keys. So that is the situation, right? So how about your machine to machine, your application to application? Do you know how they use SSH keys? Do you know how many SSH keys you have? That is the risk. So this is the diagram or the picture that to illustrate your real situation of your SSH usages. So first of all, most of the customers, they told me, Raymond, I have a PAM over there in my network, control everyone access to servers. That is true. That is correct that everyone can log in via the PAM to the server, and then the password is well protected. However, imagine this user logging into the PAM and then accessing one of the server from here. And then from this server, the user may find a private key. So how can the user use this private key? He can access from that server to another one. And then to another server, he find another private key. And then ultimately, he can get access to all the system behind your PAM. And impossible that you restrict the access from server A to server B because there are lots of automated process in between. And SSH ports are always open, are always welcome. You can check with your network engineer. You can check with your application team. Are you disable all the SSH ports in your environment? It's not. That is impossible. That may not be running port 22 as a standard. That may be running in a high port. But SSH protocols are everywhere. That is the major problem. And for your situation that, Raymond, my problem is lesser because all of our systems are running in Windows. We are not running Linux. So we don't have SSH, we don't have keys. That is not the case. Windows, starting like a couple years ago, it natively embedded with OpenSSH. So that means when you set up a Windows server, I don't know what is the latest version, right? Maybe 2024. And then Windows already embedded OpenSSH within your Windows server. That means your engineer can, of course, using a Windows account to log into the Windows server. However, the user can still use a SSH key to compromise the system as well, and that is not under your control. Even if you have your PAM, that is your situation. And when the user logging into server, interactive access when using SSH is talking about only 20%. Majority is talking about server-to-server communication. Script-based SFTP, engineer access is talking about 80%. That is the majority. So how we can help enterprise to do? Before that, there are some more risks that you need to know. So first of all, which is a jargon called PAM bypass. And PAN bypass is a huge issue in enterprise environment. And in the past, there are quite some data leakage based on PAN bypass. So I don't know if you read the news day back like 10 years ago, there's a very, very famous data leakage, which is by Edward Snowden. He used to work in NSA, USA. And then he used a single key pair to compromise the system and then getting critical data leaving USA. And then he left the country to Hong Kong, and ultimately, based on the news, he is now in Russia. So a SSH key pair can bring down your environment, right? So what is PAN bypass? So imagine your engineer are controlling by your PAN, accessing the system. So every time they log in, they need to get a password from the PAN or from AD, right? So you are controlling the password, the credentials. However, after the access, the user can himself create a key pair, and then he can purposely to upload the public key to the target server. And then in the following day, in the subsequent login in the future, the user can bypass the PAN, use his own SSH keys to log into the system. That is the risk. Then you may have a question that, Raymond, is that such easy that he can create a key pair and then upload the key and then do everything? Yes, that is the case. There are a few problems in terms of using SSH protocol. First of all, the user can create their own keys. That is not the same as Windows. But for Linux, for SSH protocol, or even for OpenSSH in Windows, user can create their own keys. That means once they create a key pair, and the user, because of the PAN, he already in the server, he can put the public key over there. That means the lock to the door. So in the following day, I can use my own key to open the door. That is the first. Secondly, the second major issue of SSH key is the key never expires. It never expires. So imagine for Windows, by default, when you create a user account in Windows, by default, it expires itself by 42 days, right? That is my day back, my Windows time. I don't know how is the default time now, but in the old days, it's by 42 days. It will expire by itself. And of course, you have AD, whatever system to control all these credentials. But for SSH keys, when you put a SSH key, public key over there, it never expires. So that means the engineer can log into the system anytime he wishes, any days in the future. And the risk over there is, even you have a very sophisticated, experienced engineer, log into system to check all your keys every day. And then one day he raises a hand, "Hey manager, I found a new key in server 10, a public key in server 10 or a private key in server 10. And then the manager said, "So what is the purpose of the key? Do you aware it before? What is the purpose of the key? Do we remove it because of the security reason, right? Because there is a lock someone can log into, right?" And then the engineer said, "I don't aware who is using, and I can't trace down who are having the private key to log into." So the manager said, "Should we remove it?" No, no one will do that. When I talk to the financial institutions customers, no one will remove any keys they don't know what is the usage. So you can imagine if this public key is authorizing a key e-banking system for a backup SFTP, or a very key backup job, or a clone job, or whatever purpose, that can bring down a very, very important application, right? Then no one would take the risk of their job to remove a key from a server. That is the risk. But when you log into AD to Windows, if you spot a new account over there, or this account is for Raymond. That is very clear, right? Then you can just go ahead to remove the account. But for SSH keys, when you find a key over there, no one would take the risk to remove the key and then the e-banking doesn't work anymore. Or a key backup job doesn't work anymore. So that is the major risk. And of course, other than PIN bypass, lateral movement is also another key problem that I just mentioned, that when the user can log into one of the server, he can find lots of keys in the system. And ultimately, the user can compromise, can log into all the system in the environment. And remember that all SSH protocols, the ports are always open, never restricted, right? Check your firewall, your RDP port, your SSH port, your SSL port are always welcome for traffics. That is the situation. So what we can help? So here is one of the major global banks that we help in like more than 10 years ago. They are our first customers. They filed the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, because of they have SSH keys not in their record and not well managed. And we did the first scan, and the customer told us that like they have 1 million key. And after our first scan, we found 3 million keys. That is the situation. Lots of automated processes are running behind the scene. No one knows what is happening. That is the situation. So what is our solution? So first of all, to know your problem in the network, you need to know what exactly is the problem. Where are the keys? Are they good? Are they bad? You need to check it out, right? So first of all, we go to your network via the SSH protocols. We can scan, auto scan. We don't need to define anything. We don't need to install any agents. We just rely on the SSH protocol to your systems. And then we can scan all these keys. And you know, we can find SSH private key, we can find SSH public keys, right? And then we will show you how many keys you have in different systems. And then you can match your manual record. But most of the time for the customers, if they don't have a solution for managing keys, the record was very old and always surprised. Even you have a team to manage the keys, there are always keys that more than you expect. That is a real situation. So after scanning all the keys, moving next, we will show you what are the good keys, what are the bad keys, what are the at-risk keys, right? So on top of that, we are not only discover all the keys, one most important feature that we provide is we will provide you the matching record of every SSH private key and public key. So imagine one of the headache that customer have is when you find 100 private key, 100 public key in different systems. That is a perfect situation, but never happen. Always have more private key or more public key, right? So when we find all these private key and public key, you never know which private key can log into which public key, right? This is a pair relationship. A single private key can log into another single public key, right? So our system, our UKM, our product can help to calculate all these keys and know which private key can log into which public key in which systems, right? And then ultimately we can show you the green key, the red key, the yellow key, whatever. We show you how is the situation of your SSH keys, right? And then moving next, we can offer some compliance reports or whatever reporting features that help you to meet your compliance requirements. And ultimately, we can help you to clean up and manage your keys. So one of the key, the idea of managing SSH keys always missing in enterprise environment is that, like I mentioned, SSH key is a form of credential. That means the key should be rotated, renewed periodically. Imagine a user, a malicious user, can copy a private key from the network and log into a certain system. But if you rotate the key, then the private key being copied will no longer valid, right? But rotating a password is very straightforward. Even for a normal user, I just type twice, then I can renew the password. But how about doing a rotation of our SSH key? It takes time. It takes risk, right? So what we can do is we can help customers to better manage their keys by rotating, renewing, removing all the keys. And of course, ultimately, we can also have a stamp on the keys that when will be the expiry date of the keys, right? So for example, later on, I will show you a key bank in Singapore, how they manage their keys with our system, right? So first of all, our UKM is a life cycle management product that we can help you to do everything within SSH protocols and keys. We discover all your keys, create inventory, and then build a trust relationship between private key and public keys, right? And then we can help you to reduce the risk on the keys. What are the good keys? What are the bad keys? And they help you to automate the whole system. Means if the key need to be rotated every 2 years, then why don't you just set up a policy in our product and then it will do it automatically instead of doing by manual way, right? And in the future, we can do a just-in-time access. Means SSH can be passwordless and keyless, which is the most secure way to log into your system. So here is one of the customer case, the key insight. So he is a leading bank in Singapore that they need to rotate their keys based on different requirements by every 2 years and every 5 years. However, keys are not expired at the same day because you create in different time period. So every day their job, they need to renew, rotate their keys. There is a mess. There is a time-consuming job for them. So they need to have a sophisticated solution for them, right? So what we can help them is we can help them to renewing bulk keys in minutes. That means they have 100,000 of keys. They wish to upgrade from RSA 2K length to 3K length. It can be in minutes within our system to check all the boxes and then upgrade the keys at the same time without any human effort, right? And then we can also provide the visibility reports. We can provide the key scanning automatically, no agents to be installed. So that is a deployment reference that we have. And ultimately, our UKM solution, our overall solution is not only limited to managing SSH keys, we also have a PAM solution that we can help customers to manage your privileged access by integrating with the user repositories, provisioning user to target systems in the cloud, on-premises, via our Zero Trust Access Management product. And ultimately, we can do session recording that your privileged user using within the session. We can make it as a video so that you can play it back anytime you wish, or do the live monitoring, right? So this is our Zero Trust solution overall. And from SSH, we are a company that not only doing the secure shell protocol, like I mentioned, we do Zero Trust for privileged access. And lately, not exactly lately, like 5 years ago, we have a network-to-network solution that provide a network encryptor doing site-to-site VPN, IPsec VPN, but with post-quantum cryptography instead of using classical algorithm for the encryption tunnel. So that means it can prevent from future quantum threat, quantum risk. Because everyone knows quantum computer is maybe here now already, or maybe in 1 year or 2 years. And in USA, the federal government, they enforce the government agencies to prepare quantum risk by 2030. By 2030. Hey, Raymond, still 5 years to go, but upgrading everything to support post-quantum cryptography, it takes times. Right? So our product, network to network, we provide post-quantum cryptography, IPsec VPN. We have OT security. We have Teams-like, Zoom-like solution for video conferencing. Right? So that is the solution from SSH. So after today, I wish everyone know Open SSH is created by us as a founder of the protocol, right? And then it's the right time that you need to plan for your SSH securities, right? SSH is very easy to use, to deploy, already embedded in the system. But do you know the risk, the security risk behind it? And this is the solution from a company that created Secure Shell Protocol. So thank you everyone for attending the session. Drop by our booth, it's just behind the speaker's lot, right? So talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause once again to Mr. Raymond Ma, the Regional Director, Asia Pacific of SSH Communications Security. So the booth is right there. So for more or any inquiries, please feel free to contact them in person. Up on the screen, we are going to show the QR code of the feedback form. You can just take some time to do the feedback, which we would like to get your feedback, which is you can improve for our future event. So thank you very much. Just right over there, you can just scan the QR code for the conference survey. During this time, upcoming next, we will have the topic of AI-driven security analytics สำหรับในช่วงต่อไปนะคะเดี๋ยวเราจะได้มีหัวข้อของ AI-driven security analytics ด้วยนะคะเซสชันเมื่อสักครู่นี้นะคะจากทาง SSH Communications Security นะคะก็ได้มีการพูดถึงในเรื่องของการปัญหาการจัดการนะคะของ SSH keys นะคะที่ไม่ได้รับการดูแลอย่างเหมาะสมแล้วก็ถือว่าเป็นช่องโหว่ทางด้านความปลอดภัยที่จะก่อให้เกิดความเสียหายนะคะได้เป็นอย่างมากเลยทีเดียวนะคะโดยเฉพาะอย่างยิ่งในระบบของM2M นะคะ A2A แล้วก็คิดเป็น 80% ของการใช้งานของ SSH เลยทีเดียวค่ะซึ่งแม้แต่ PAM เองก็ไม่สามารถที่จะจัดการได้อย่างมีประสิทธิภาพนะคะในเรื่องของการเข้าถึงข้อมูลการเคลื่อนย้ายข้อมูลต่างๆก็มีความเสี่ยงเพราะว่าไม่ได้รับการอนุญาตนะคะก็จะทำให้เกิดการโจมตีได้ง่ายเพราะฉะนั้นนะคะในวันนี้ทางด้านของ SSH Communications Security ก็มีการนำเสนอในเรื่องของการแก้ปัญหาที่สามารถครอบคลุมแล้วก็เน้นนะคะในเรื่องของการจัดการความเสี่ยงนะคะแล้วก็ลดความซ้ำซ้อนนะเป็นระบบอัตโนมัติในการจัดการนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยก็สามารถที่จะใช้นะคะตัวของ Zero Trust Keyless Access เพื่อความปลอดภัยที่สูงขึ้นได้เพราะฉะนั้นใครที่สนใจอย่างไรนะคะเดี๋ยวสามารถที่จะไปพูดคุยแล้วก็สอบถามที่บูธหมายเลข B24 ได้เลยนะคะแล้วเดี๋ยวหัวข้อถัดไปนะเราจะมาพูดถึงเรื่องของ AI Driven Security Analytics กันค่ะ